total to 2-0. It's that 0 that I think is getting Coach Prime pretty excited. No losses yet. A tough Pac-12 slate ahead. Let's bring it here in studio here in Nashville. We've got Cooper Patagna and Carl Reed reacting to Coach Prime, hearing what he had to say after this game. The thing that really stuck out to me is him continuing to use the word personal. This is personal for him. It was personal for his son. It was personal for the whole team. Carl, what is so impressive about Coach Prime's ability to kind of give his team that little bit of edge that they play with?
The most impressive thing about this Colorado run so far is you have somebody who has a singular belief in what they're doing and the way they're doing it, no matter how crazy everybody thought that it was. I was at the spring game. I was there when he started flipping the roster, and from that point to today, everything he set out to do, he had a full commitment to it, whether you believed in it or not, whether you thought it was the right thing to do or not, and he's totally changed the fortunes of that program. And he also, from talking to agents, from talking to athletic directors across the country, he also is starting to change what schools think they need in a coach moving forward in this new transfer portal and NIL level. He has been the ultimate game changer, and right now he's giving a master class on believing in yourself.
I think the sign of a great competitor, it's always personal. You think about Michael Jordan on the basketball court, same with Kobe Bryant. Every game they would go out there and they would find a way to make that game personal. It's the same thing with Deion Sanders, right? It's not as easy to go out there with 86, 87 new faces, flip the script of a program that has been dormant for years. They won one game last year. Here they are, 2-0. They go on the road to TCU, win that game against a ranked opponent, and then handle Nebraska today. People need to understand Deion Sanders is a special individual. They don't come along very often, and he's a special coach, too. He's got unrelenting standards. You hear him talk about that. He talks about the ability to dominate. That's what he wants to do, and I think that's a mark of a guy that's going to have a really, really successful coaching career.
You saw Buffs fans really excited after that game, storming the field. Coach Prime talking a little bit about that in his post-game press conference, just the impact that him coming to Boulder and just the team and what they've been able to do, what that's had on the community. He said something kind of interesting about the fans, and that he likes their energy, but he also likes their expectation. Now that we've seen Coach Prime and the Buffs start 2-0 this season, Carl, what should our expectations be for this team?
Well, you should expect that they're going to continue to compete well every week, that they're going to continue to play hard, but you should also expect them to win football games, because now we're not just talking about that 3.5 over and under number that Vegas gave at the beginning of the season. We're talking about a group of kids and a coaching staff who expects to win every single week when they go out. And it may not be realistic to everybody else, but it is to the guys in that locker room and their fan base, and that's the most important thing right now.
They're a swaggy team. They're building confidence every week. They embody their head coach and his personality. So this is a team right now. They're a scary team. It's a quarterback team that's got Shedeur Sanders at the tip of the spear. They're a scary, scary bunch, and I think every week they're only going to get better. So I think the sky's the limit from here.
Something else that he mentioned, too, is with all the success that they're having early on, the impact that it doesn't just have on Colorado fans, on the city of Boulder. You heard the guy ask the question about local businesses and how it's booming for business, but the impact that having Deion Sanders in a position like this could potentially have on the sports world. You heard Carl mention it, just these other athletic directors rethinking their hiring process. Cooper, I want to get your thoughts on this. How does Deion in this role and the success that he's able to already have, how does that impact the world of college football at large?
I just said he's one-on-one. I'm glad you brought it up, because Josh Pate talked about this earlier in the week, and he said everybody's going to react to this, and said, let me go find my Deion Sanders. Well, he's not out there, right? He's only one person, one special individual. So I do think you're going to see a reaction to this. The way that I see it is that I think a lot of people are going to come up empty, right, trying to find the next Deion Sanders. He's one-on-one. I think he's made that clear here in the first 2 weeks of his coaching tenure.
He's one-on-one, but what it changes, what you have to look at is we have every hiring season, when you're looking at these play call and offensive coordinators, those guys have been very average across the board. Now you have to start looking at guys that are great recruiters, guys that can acquire talent, guys that can rally people around, and some of the best position coaches in the country that are the guys that are really recruiting the really great players on these teams, you have to start giving those guys a look, because the guys who have proven that they can control the recruiting board are the guys that are going to give you the best chance to win moving forward. You can fix scheme. You can address some schematic things if you get to a point where your scheme has to improve, but you can't address recruiting if you can't recruit.
Colorado's win total was 3.5, 2-0 on the season for Coach Prime's Buffs. If you want more of these two guys, be sure to check out 247sports.com. They're constantly updating with all of their great knowledge, and you can read everything that has to do with the world of college football and, of course, all things recruiting. So be sure to check out 247sports.com.